Shia LaBeouf hasn't made missteps before. I'm still trying to erase.
And the 90s model turned actor Cameron Diaz. So why did she announce her retirement in 2018?
These actors were blacklisted from Hollywood for the most unexpected and downright bizarre reasons. In the entertainment industry, fame can be fleeting, and even the most talented and beloved actors aren't immune to Hollywood's harsh reality. These 5 stars were on the fast track to success until shocking controversies, strange incidents, or behind-the-scenes drama derailed their careers. What really happened, and why did Hollywood turn its back on them? Join us as we reveal 5 top stars that have been banned from Hollywood. Megan Fox. With striking blue eyes, long brown hair, flawless skin, and a jaw-dropping figure, Megan Fox captivated audiences and seemed to appear in Hollywood overnight. But it wasn't just her looks that made waves. Her role as the fearless, challenging, and undeniably cool Michaela Baines turned her into the ultimate celebrity crush for both men and women. She commanded attention effortlessly. The film raked over $700 million worldwide, solidifying Fox as Hollywood's next big thing. However, instead of being recognized for her acting skills, she was quickly labeled an exquisite symbol. In 2008, FHM crowned her the sexiest woman in the world, and the Los Angeles Times described her as a exquisite symbol of the highest order. Unfortunately, Megan Fox's career drastically changed after an infamous fallout with director Michael Bay. Once considered the face of the Transformers franchise, she was abruptly removed from the 3rd film, leaving fans wondering what had gone wrong. Reports suggested that her dismissal was linked to the comments she made about Bay, where she compared him to Napoleon and Hitler in an interview. She had described him as someone who wanted to build an intense and controversial reputation, calling him a nightmare to work with. These remarks quickly spread, creating tension between her and the influential director. When asked about her comments, Bay appeared unbothered and dismissed the issue by saying that Megan enjoyed getting reactions, but often did so incorrectly. He sarcastically apologized for making her work long hours and arrive on set on time, implying that she was overreacting. Despite his nonchalant response, Megan was fired, and Bay later claimed that Steven Spielberg himself had insisted on her removal. However, Spielberg denied any form of involvement in the decision. Although the media focused on Fox's harsh comparison of Bay to Hitler, her issues with the director reportedly went much further. She had worked with him years earlier when she was just 15, appearing as an extra in Bad Boys 2. According to her, she had been dressed in a bikini, cowboy hat, and high heels for a club scene. Since she was underage and couldn't be filmed at the bar, Bay had supposedly decided to have her dance under a waterfall instead. Looking back, she described it as an unsettling experience and an early example of how she was treated in the industry. Later, while working on Transformers, she had spoken about how frustrating it was to receive little to no acting direction from Bay. When she had asked where she should be looking or how she should play a scene, she had allegedly been told to just be sexy. How she was treated on set made her uncomfortable, but at the time, she had no real power to challenge it. Some years later, a journalist recalled an unusual story Fox had shared about her audition for Transformers. She had claimed that Bay had asked her to wash his Ferrari while he filmed her, though she had never known what had happened to the footage. When Bay was questioned about it, he seemed embarrassed about the entire situation and claimed not to know either. At the time, there had been little sympathy for Fox. The industry had remained silent, and even feminists had not come to her defense. Many people had been eager to criticize her, possibly because of her looks and confidence, making her an easy target. Her co-star Shia LaBeouf had later confirmed that she had struggled with Bay's directing style, describing it as overly focused on female sexuality in a way that had made her uneasy. However, none of these concerns had been taken seriously, and her career had suffered. After leaving Transformers, she had continued acting, taking on roles in Jennifer's Body, Jonah Hex, and The Dictator. But none of these films had significantly helped her career. Aside from her role in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, her star power had seemed to fade. Years later, after the #MeToo movement, she finally spoke out about how painful it had been to feel dismissed and ridiculed. She had explained that her words had been twisted and used against her, making it difficult for her to be taken seriously. Looking back, she believed she had simply spoken out too soon, when people were not ready to hear her concerns. She admitted that she had many stories that fit within the #MeToo conversation, but had chosen to stay quiet, convinced she would not have been viewed as a sympathetic victim. Despite her struggles, Fox had continued working, taking on new roles in films such as Zeroville and Above the Shadows. She had also begun filming a new project, Big Gold Brick. Although she doubted being as liked or accepted as before her feud with Bay, many believed she deserved the chance to rebuild her career. In a time when Hollywood was finally recognizing the importance of listening to women, her story had served as a reminder of how easily influential figures could shape the careers of those who dared to speak out. Next on the list is an actor whose name is practically synonymous with controversy. His fall from grace was swift, but the most shocking part? He saw it coming. Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf was making a big Hollywood comeback just a year ago. After winning praise for his movie Honey Boy and the indie hit The Peanut Butter Falcon, he landed a significant role in Olivia Wilde's highly anticipated thriller Don't Worry, Darling. The film was a hot project, with several prominent actors competing for the part, but LaBeouf secured it. This role seemed like a big step forward in his career after years of personal struggles, legal troubles, and unpredictable behavior that had pushed studios away. However, things took a sharp turn. In September, the studio announced that Harry Styles would replace LaBeouf, citing a scheduling conflict. But behind the scenes, there was more to the story. Sources revealed that LaBeouf's behavior on set was problematic, clashing with the cast and crew, especially Wilde, who eventually fired him. Wilde, LaBeouf's publicist, and the studio refused to comment, but insiders described LaBeouf as off-putting and hard to work with. Wilde is known for maintaining a positive, collaborative environment, and LaBeouf didn't fit that mold. Then, the situation got even worse. A week later, singer FKA Twigs, who dated LaBeouf, filed a lawsuit against him, accusing him of severe misconduct, including physical and emotional harm. She claimed he strangled her, knowingly gave her an STD, and even shot stray dogs to prepare for a movie role. The shocking allegations sparked widespread backlash, raising doubts about LaBeouf's future in Hollywood. Other women also came forward with accusations. Musician Sia called him a pathological liar and said he had tricked her into an affair. Singer Katie Rose claimed he mistreated her when she was just 14. Even Honey Boy director Alma Har'el, who had worked closely with him, said that while she once believed in his recovery, nothing excuses his actions. LaBeouf quickly hired a top lawyer, Sean Hawley, known for working with celebrities like O.J. Simpson. He admitted to his past mistakes, saying he had been aggressive and struggled with substance dependency, but he denied some of the claims against him. He stated that he was in therapy and trying to change, but FKA Twigs' lawyer argued that he refused to seek proper treatment, which led them to take legal action. The lawsuit hit LaBeouf's career hard. Netflix had just acquired his new movie, Pieces of a Woman, where he plays the husband of Vanessa Kirby's character. The company quietly removed his name from its awards campaign, and his future projects became uncertain. Hollywood's attitude toward past mistakes had been somewhat forgiving, but serious misconduct allegations were a different matter. LaBeouf had a history of troubles, from arrests for public intoxication to fights with co-stars. Despite this, he had still found work in independent films, with some even seeing his unpredictable nature as part of his appeal. However, in the post-#MeToo era, the industry had little tolerance for serious misconduct. His career now hangs in the balance. Hollywood had once considered him for major roles, even in Marvel films, but those opportunities seem to have disappeared. He was still set to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but with no upcoming projects and a lawsuit looming, his future remains uncertain. His attorney insists LaBeouf is now seeking long-term treatment. Experts believe that if he truly commits to change, he could potentially rebuild his career. But the damage is severe, and whether Hollywood or the public will be willing to forgive remains unclear. Winning an international award should be a life-changing experience, But for this actress, it was the beginning of the end of her career. Who is this actress, and what exactly happened? Monique Angela Hicks. Winning an Academy Award is often seen as a career-changing moment, but for Monique, it led to an unexpected downturn. 5 years after her Oscar win for Precious, she finally learned why she had not received the same opportunities as other winners. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, she shared that director Lee Daniels had explained the situation to her. According to her, Daniels had informed her that she had been blackballed in the industry. When she asked why, he reportedly told her that she had refused to play the game. Monique later discovered that her decision not to campaign for her Oscar actively had caused frustration among Hollywood's elite. Unlike many actors who networked and lobbied for votes, she had not participated in the usual promotional activities. As a result, influential figures in the industry had seemingly distanced themselves from her. Daniels later clarified his statement, saying that her lack of involvement in the Precious Awards campaign had negatively affected her relationships in Hollywood. However, Monique saw things differently. She believed she had been unfairly labeled as difficult simply because she had chosen to stand by her own principles rather than conform to expectations. She expressed her frustration, suggesting that those who described her as difficult might be individuals who were either ruthless, heartless, or willing to mistreat others. She felt that her reputation had been unfairly tarnished, making it difficult for her to secure roles. Over the years, she claimed to have lost several opportunities, including roles in The Butler, Empire, and a Richard Pryor biopic. These were projects that had originally been discussed with her, but she later learned that they had been given to other actors without explanation. She compared her experience to that of Hattie McDaniel, the first black woman to win an Oscar in 1940. During her own Oscar speech in 2010, Monique had acknowledged McDaniel's contributions, thanking her for paving the way. However, she later realized that McDaniel had faced a similar struggle. According to Monique, McDaniel had once said that winning an Oscar had made her feel as if she had done something wrong, a sentiment that Monique admitted she could now relate to. With Hollywood seemingly turning its back on her, Monique and her husband, Sidney Hicks, decided to take control of their careers. They independently produced Blackbird, a coming-of-age drama, rather than waiting for roles from major studios. Despite the challenges, Monique refused to remain silent. She spoke about the issue on social media, stating that being blackballed or ignored for one's views was concerning, but choosing to stay quiet about injustices was even worse. Once the face of several blockbuster hits, this actor is now struggling to land a major role. What went wrong? And whose career took this unexpected turn? Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz hasn't been in a major movie since Annie in 2014. It's surprising considering she starred in hits like My Best Friend's Wedding, There's Something About Mary, and the Shrek films. So, why did one of Hollywood's biggest stars step away from the spotlight? One reason could be Annie itself. The film was widely criticized and didn't perform as well as expected. But that's not the only factor. Hollywood may have lost interest due to typecasting, uneven box office performances, and her personal life changes. Plus, she made enough money to afford a long break. Cameron's films haven't received great reviews in years, since Who is Norman Lloyd? In 2007, none of her movies earned a fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Some of her worst-reviewed films include Gambit, Annie, and The Counselor. One particularly infamous scene in The Counselor featured her character seducing a car, a moment that critics called cringe-worthy. Despite mixed reviews, Cameron still had box office success. Bad Teacher made over $100 million in 2011, and The Other Woman earned nearly $200 million worldwide in 2014. However, her career had just as many flops. The same year The Other Woman was a hit, her comedy Sex Tape bombed, and even Annie didn't do as well as expected, making just $85 million domestically on a $65 million budget. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Cameron was on track to become one of Hollywood's greatest comedic actresses. Her performances in My Best Friend's Wedding and There's Something About Mary received praise, and she even got award nominations for being John Malkovich, Vanilla Sky, and Gangs of New York, but after working with Martin Scorsese, she jumped into a Charlie's Angels sequel, which disappointed fans hoping for more serious roles. Cameron often stuck to familiar roles, playing a career woman caught in crazy situations, like in What Happens in Vegas, Night and Day, and What to Expect When You're Expecting. Even Bad Teacher, which seemed different, was still a predictable rom-com. Her career started to feel like turning in a rushed school paper, knowing it would only get a passing grade. Her involvement in the Shrek franchise also contributed to her career slowdown. While the first film was a huge success, the sequels became less popular. When Shrek Forever After came out in 2010, audiences were ready to move on. Outside of acting, Cameron found success in writing. She released The Body Book in 2013 and The Longevity Book in 2016, both of which became bestsellers. She also spoke about her frustrations with Hollywood's obsession with youth and beauty, suggesting she was more focused on personal wellness. Rumors about her retirement began when her friend Selma Blair jokingly said Cameron was done with acting. Though Blair later denied it, Cameron herself called herself actually retired in a 2018 interview. Still, if Cameron ever wants to return, Hollywood would welcome her back. A strong script and a great director could remind everyone of her talent. Next on the list is the undisputed king of controversy, often dubbed the most hated man in Hollywood. Yet despite the backlash, his career didn't stay buried for long. How did he manage to bounce back? And what earned him such a notorious reputation on TV? Mel Gibson. A decade ago, Mel Gibson was considered one of Hollywood's most hated figures. Today, he's receiving standing ovations. At the Academy premiere of Hacksaw Ridge, the audience stood and applauded for 10 minutes. That kind of reaction is expected for great films, but this time, it was for Mel himself. 10 years earlier, such a moment seemed impossible. His career took a severe hit when he was arrested for DUI and made anti-Semitic and sexist remarks to police officers. Then, a leaked audio recording captured him threatening his then-girlfriend with forced intimacy and other forms of violence while also using racist language. Hollywood turned its back on him, and many believed he would never work in the industry again. For years, Mel remained a symbol of scandal and disgrace. His name was synonymous with controversy, and studios wanted nothing to do with him. While some celebrities managed to recover from public mistakes, his offenses seemed too severe for redemption. His projects were shelved, and he disappeared from mainstream Hollywood. But instead of fading into obscurity, Mel slowly started rebuilding. He kept a low profile, avoided the spotlight, and focused on his work. In 2016, he directed Hacksaw Ridge, a war drama based on the true story of Desmond Doss, a medic who saved 75 soldiers without ever carrying a weapon. The film was a massive success, earning 6 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture and Best Director for Mel. His comeback wasn't just about making a great film. It was about time, persistence, and a slow shift in Hollywood's perception. Over the years, some industry insiders began to soften their stance. Others still viewed him with skepticism, questioning whether he had truly changed or if he was simply waiting for the controversy to die down. Despite the applause at Hacksaw Ridge's premiere, opinions on Mel remain divided. Some argue that talent should be separated from personal behavior, while others believe certain actions are unforgivable. The entertainment industry has a history of both punishing and forgiving stars who have been caught in scandals. Mel's return to Hollywood raises an important question. Has he been fully forgiven, or is his redemption still uncertain? The standing ovation at the premiere suggested that many in the industry were ready to move on. But outside Hollywood, the public remains split. Some believe in second chances, while others think his past behavior should never be forgotten. Regardless of opinions, Mel's journey from being an outcast to receiving a standing ovation is one of Hollywood's most unexpected comebacks. Whether his redemption is permanent or temporary, one thing is clear: Mel Gibson is back in the spotlight, and this time, he's being celebrated rather than condemned. Do some of these celebrities truly deserve to be pushed out of the spotlight the way they were? And who else should be on this list of stars Hollywood turned its back on? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.